All right.
Whatever you feel. Hello, another Friday, another Facebook Live video. Today I have the lovely Karen Gillen to talk about staging and prepping your home for sale. So let's start off with, what's your background? What do you do?
Well, I got into real estate because I had a home redesign, staging, organizing, moving business for a long time. I had my own business. And interior redesign is where you take everybody's personality and you put function into the home, the way the family needs to use it, using their existing art, accessories, and furniture. And then for staging, you take out the personality so that you can show off the architecture of the home and not necessarily have it for function. And so it was sort of a natural transition. I did a lot of consultations with realtors and homeowners to help them get their homes ready. And so that naturally I turned into a realtor from that. So that's how I got started. I did it for a very long time. I feel like I'm pretty good at it.
Yes.
And I think it's important.
I think so. So Karen works in the office with me here, and she's kind of my go-to person for talking about staging, and she's taken me through her super lovely, totally redone home, and she has a great eye for that, and I must admit I don't always have that same eye, so definitely lean on you with that. So why is staging and home prep so important?
I think it's important because buyers, if you're going to sell your home, you want it to look like you had some pride in it. You want it to be clean, neat, organized, and most importantly, give buyers a sense that they're walking into their new home and how they could live in it rather than intruding on your space. And I always feel like you're moving anyway. Pack it up, move it out, and then we'll take whatever you want to leave behind and we can stage with using those furnishings and art and accessories, or you can hire a company that brings it in and they do it for you. Either way, it's a great idea because buyers have a tendency not all buyers have vision.
Yes.
They can't all see how would the furniture look, what would I use this room for, or what else could I use? Could it be a bedroom, could it be an office? And the main rooms you want to stage are the first ones you see when you walk in the home. Dining room, living room, a few accessories in the kitchen is typically enough, and then at least one bedroom. And then maybe if you can do a few more, if there's maybe 4 bedrooms, maybe do one as an office or a second bedroom, a kid's bedroom, however you think people might want to function. Another thing staging helps with, it helps people linger. And the longer it gives them some interest, maybe they sit down, they start seeing themselves living in the home, which is what you want to do. You want people to linger and say, I don't know, I really like this house. And I think especially if it's sort of done, staging isn't living. So it's all kind of perfect. And it just makes people, it just shows off your house so well. But staging starts with organizing, packing, donate, keep, give away, toss, those little subject matters. When you're going through closets and rooms, you have a lot of stuff. You've lived there a long time, right? So you have to get rid of the stuff, and you're moving anyway. So then, once you get that, then that's an overwhelming piece of moving. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Getting your house ready. So once you kind of get it organized and things start getting packed up and you've thrown away things or donated them, now we're starting to see the house, and you've started the process of packing and moving and separating yourself emotionally from the house as well.
Yeah, I think that can be a big part of it, when we're going, oh, Tony, hi, Tony, we miss you.
Hi, Tony.
When we're going through houses, so there's kind of 2 kinds of staging, right? There's where someone might still be living there and some of their things might be involved in the staging, and then there's sort of the vacant house.
Yeah.
You're doing the full deal. But I think sometimes when you're working with people who are still living there, it can feel very emotional, like, oh, what, a buyer wouldn't like my things, or a buyer wouldn't like my art, but it's really separating that it's not personal. You want the house to feel like it could be for anyone, so anyone could walk in and envision themselves.
That's an
there.
excellent point. I think the first thing I always tell people in a staging consultation, it's not your style, it's not about your taste, it's not about you, it's about appealing to the masses. So maybe we take the lime green off the walls, you've enjoyed it, but it's not everyone's taste. And so take color down a notch. The least expensive way to completely transform a room is paint. And some paint gets beat up, it gets, marks on it and chips in it or whatever, bumps from the furniture. So just repainting, excellent point.
Well, that sort of leads into one of the things I wanted to ask you about, which is, what are the best, cheaper, free things a homeowner can do to prep for sale? So paint.
Paint is absolutely clean. Organize. If your linen closet is full, cluttered closets give the impression there's not enough storage space. Cluttered kitchen cabinets, I would say also. When you have all that stuff crammed in there, and so it gives the illusion that there isn't enough storage, and people open the closet and there's, so either organize it and straighten it up. I don't know about you, but when I clean out my linen closet, I feel like bags of expired suntan lotion, expired medications, old things that I don't need anymore, almost empty, cleaning products or whatever it might be.
Yeah, this is very on trend right now because, the
condo.
Yeah, the Marie Kondo, the book of a few years ago, and the Netflix now. I feel like it's very in the zeitgeist, but I'm someone who lives a fairly pared down life, and I do have to say it's pretty freeing. But even so, we live in a small space. We have limited belongings, but even going through, there's always more, and there's always just stuff that you put away. And I always try to tell Tim with this clothes, if you haven't worn it in a year, you're not gonna wear it. If you made it through a full season cycle, you're not gonna wear it.
So yeah, what were we saying? Painting?
Yeah, painting.
Definitely. And just go neutral. And I mean, really, this is not going to be your house anymore. Try to go from my house to someone else's house. Try to emotionally separate yourself. I would say changing out hardware in the kitchen, changing lighting fixtures, super cheap. Old crusty faucets, sometimes they're on those little tiny vanities, maybe in the basement or something, and it's a little crusted over with hard water. Change it out. They're like $50-$60. Just change it out. Little things that make a big impact. Finishing, like trim around a wall in a basement, that's not going to make big impact.
Yeah.
So put your money where it needs to be and don't spend too much because you may not get it back.
And usually, just with all real estate, we'd say kitchen, bathrooms. That's what a lot of buyers are looking at. Maybe master bedroom if you have one.
Definitely.
But yeah, we recently, I used to have a bright blue dining room, and then we decided that we're looking to sell in the near future, and my whole house is gray now, which I don't love, but it's not about me. It's about appealing to the broadest spectrum of buyers, because either someone's gonna love neutral and keep it, or they don't love neutral, they love electric blue, and they're gonna paint it electric blue anyway. But
Getting a call.
oh, are we back? Oh boy. Okay, we got a call. That's never happened before, so I'm like, does it still go? What happens? So how much does staging cost on average if we're talking, maybe you can speak to both, a whole vacant house stage and maybe just some partial pieces.
If you do a whole vacant house stage and you get a professional stager in and they bring it in and they do a great job, I mean, you and I know that. Houses that are staged sell faster for more money. There's many studies that have proven that. So you want to bite the bullet. Maybe, I think it really varies, but they charge maybe like $2,500, I think, to come in for a setup fee, and then in the remaining months you sort of rent those furnishings from them. Professional stagers have access, so they can get in through your realtor's super key or the key box. You send them pictures. They really are good at what they do, and they have whole warehouses of things that'll fit and suit, and they just put just enough out to make it interesting. And they won't overdo it for you at all. If you're gonna just kind of pare down, clean out, get rid of some furniture, consult with a professional stager. I do it for my listings because I have that background, and I do it for the agents in our office. I'll do it too, and they take care of it. Like, there's no fee to you, and they can give you a list. I give you a game plan, like, this is the priority, and you might want to take this furniture out of this space, and then when that's done, and maybe it's all boxed up and marked in the basement, Now I can come in and use your art and accessories, and maybe I bring in some throw pillows or some accent pieces to kind of give it a fresh look. And then we'll rehang the art, you know, and that kind of thing, and set it up. But living room, kitchen for sure. It doesn't take much to make a huge impression. It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
And it
yeah,
will
and it
sell
doesn't.
faster.
You know, if
Better
you
than
have
a price
money,
drop.
for sure.
Right.
And that's the thing. You know, I recently, actually on Karen's recommendation, had one of my listings staged. It was a larger property, and it was really just gorgeous. But people were had this really big living room, and I think people are just having a hard time picturing their things in there. And we got it staged. I believe it was $2,500 or $2,700, and then there was an additional monthly fee. Luckily, it sold, and we didn't have to go beyond, you know, that month. But it just made a world of difference. We reshot the photos, and we got just a huge influx of showings. And, you know, it obviously price point dependent, but I was talking to my client about maybe doing a $15,000 price drop. So what we did instead is we did the staging, and then we did a smaller $5,000 price drop. And sometimes that can actually move the needle more than a bigger price drop. And at the end of the day, you save yourself, you know, in this situation, maybe $7,500 that we were thinking about dropping.
That's a lot of money.
Absolutely. And so it can seem like a lot, but when you're thinking, usually we're dropping prices in at least increments of 5,000. So if you're thinking about that price drop versus staging, you can come out ahead in some situations.
And if you have furniture that you can leave behind in art and accessories, or maybe you're still living there, you know, we can use that and just make it better. So you've painted maybe, and you know, there's a lot of things to staging. Valances always get removed. Nobody wants valances. And what they're doing is covering the window, which is what the buyer wants to see, and maybe blocking some light or whatever. So valances always get removed. If you can remove borders, well, those are super dated. Curtains, you know, ugly shower curtains, and then like you said, in a bathroom, invest in clean, fluffy, new white towels.
IKEA
and a shower
anywhere
curtain.
super cheap.
It's super cheap, and it just looks so cute. And maybe a little green plant in there, and bathroom's done. It's staged.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is really simple, and I mean,
Really
even
simple.
if someone's willing to put in, say, a couple $100s and just some little stuff, that can go a long way.
Long way.
So we kind of classic style versus trendy. So what do you generally skew to? Do you try to stage a property to modern, whatever is hot right now, or do you tend to go for more of a classic feel?
I think it depends on the house and whether or not you're using the homeowners, the furnishings that they're leaving there to use for that. But I think definitely you want to go a little more neutral, and then bring color or floral or patterns in through pillows and maybe rugs or something like that, instead of, and you know, it's a good question. I think it really depends on the house, and if you're having it staged, they will bring in things that work, but they always have pretty neutral grays and tans. Maybe they'll throw in some navy, a little yellow, you know, to just give it a little pop, but without being too bold. But I think neutral is best. Like, you want to kind of stick with those neutrals and just bring a little bit of color. And well-placed art is really, really important.
Yes.
Because if you're coming in this way and you've got the art behind, people aren't going to see it. So why waste the money and time on that piece of art, you know? So you put it where people can see it. And I think you just have to make it cozy and inviting and really, really pretty.
Make
it pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a big thing with the house that got staged down the street.
It was so pretty.
It was so pretty, and it felt so inviting. And also something that I think is sort of overlooked is that they staged a TV, which I wasn't actually expecting. But it really helped in that particular living room, because that's where someone likely would place a TV in this particular house. Yeah. And sometimes when you're looking at it, you're like,
where would I put the TV?
Where would I put the TV? Where would I put the couch? How is this going to work? I mean, you know, it's not classy, but it's the reality that most of us have a TV in our living room. And so we want to make sure that's going to, you know, the seating's going to work. So even just little things like that, sometimes it's easier. So to finish up, So if someone's thinking of selling in the near future, what should they consider while prepping a home? So we kind of talked about a lot of this, but decluttering, paint.
So I just mailed out to a bunch of my sphere, I guess, the 6 tips to getting your house ready. So I should be able to remember them off the top of my head. But take a look at the walk into your house from the front. Because most of us come maybe through the garage or the side, and we don't look at the front. You know, because when buyers are standing there and their realtor is getting the lockbox open and they're fussing with that, they're gonna notice rusty mailboxes, you know, maybe loose railings, those kind of things. So spruce it up, clean it up, and squeaky doors and loose doors, things like that. So then when you get inside, you want to pare it down with paint. That is like the biggest. I would say paint's the easiest, least expensive. And like you said, go gray, go cream, go kind of neutral. And it doesn't have to be every room, but if you've got kind of a dark color or a bad looking paint job, then do it. So that was another one we had on there. And start packing. Get out the bin for donate, the bin for keep. And like if you haven't worn it in a year, maybe get rid of it, you know, or 2 years in Minnesota, you know, we have different climate. But so get all of that organized, and that's going to lead to the staging piece, which your realtor can help you with. I mean, they can bring in a consultant. You don't have to do this on your own. You know, you can. Sure. A realtor is going to help you with it because they know, they have a good eye of what people like and what people don't like. And then you'll kind of get down that path, and you'll start feeling less overwhelmed because you'll start seeing what you're getting rid of, what you're packing up, and how this process is going. So when you do get an offer, you can close and you can move. And, you know, you'll have it all staged and you'll have it all packed up. And
get an early start on the process.
Well, talk about staging, paint, declutter. Just fix the little things. You've been walking by it for 5 years. You don't notice it anymore. That kind of broken kitchen cabinet or whatever. The loose railing. You don't see it anymore. Buyers will see it. So just clean it up so they don't have anything to nitpick over. So it's just a nice smooth transaction. And then you get to live with it. And then you're going to fix it up and you're going to say, why are we moving? Our house is so nice.
Yeah, that is what happens.
That's what happened.
I love it here. Why are we leaving?
And the better prepared you are, the faster it's going to sell. And don't take the pictures. Do not list it until it's ready.
Absolutely.
Till it's cleaned, painted, staged a little, or at least, you know, the furniture's all like ready to go. So those pictures look wow. And then it will sell faster. Yeah, because
the pictures
you only have one chance to make a first impression.
That's true. Right? That's very true. Yeah, I think just having it all ready when you go for those pictures, and whatever that is to you. I mean, I think I've certainly
if it's a week later than you thought, that's fine.
Yeah, and I've certainly had sales where, for health reasons or otherwise, people just really weren't able to get those properties to maybe that high level of finish. But just know that wherever you land within that, that's going to kind of determine the price. If some of those fixes or getting some of that stuff out is just out of reach for whatever reason, that's fine. Houses sell at all places, but just realizing that there's a relationship between the price that you're going to get for your house and your ability to kind of
and the way it shows.
It up. Yeah, and if you can get to that highest level where it's just clean, nice, great, it just looks like someone could move right in, that's going to be your best bet for selling quickly and for the best price. So
exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Karen.
You're welcome.
If you guys have any questions for me, you can send me a message. I'd be happy to connect you with Karen as well for her staging expertise. Or call 612-729-7239. Bye. Bye.